The reality is that we live in a world of racial inequality. Now that ain't rocket science. You ain't got to be from Buffalo, you ain't got to be from Bingham, you have to be from Birmingham to know that we live in a world that is not fair. That your prosperity is tied to the zip code where you were born, for nothing other than the fact lack of investment in the school system, clear racial disparity, discrimination, and systemic bias. The fact that people won't cross certain neighborhoods. I travel to over 20 cities every single year, and I tell you, every time I find a train track, I find a divide.
Yeah.
That is intentional. And I went to business school, but it ain't rocket science to figure that out. So the reality is that we know racial inequality looks like. The problem is the hard conversation to have. Whether it's Obama or Biden or Trump or somebody else, nobody more talks about the elephant in the room. So let's not talk about the race part, let's talk about the outcomes and negative impact. We're not going to solve it. I'm different color than you, I make dress better than you, I probably look better than some of y'all. But we're not going to go there. That's just today's a good day. I don't look like this. I don't wake up like this. I mean, you're very clear. But the reality is that if I'm suffering, you're suffering. The reality is I am the new majority. It may scare some of you, it excites me, because we're going to have some fun.
Woo!
But the reality is the lack of investment in who I am, where I live, the institutions I care about, you have totally screwed yourself and your future, and you have underinvested, and you will have a negative return on investment because you didn't care about me. You didn't trust me. You didn't see my value. So the opportunity for Ureeka is to say there is value in the communities that we serve. We will never turn anyone away. We are being deeply intentional about going after women and people of color. Why? Well, because we're cool. But also, I'm just saying, but also because we know there's a real opportunity. But we don't want to invest where everybody else has doubled down. We want to double up where there's an opportunity for arbitrage and to gain serious returns. We know all the negative statistics. I don't need to go there. There are two things that should scare you. By 2073, the Latino population will have a zero net wealth. By 2050, African Americans have a zero net wealth. I don't care where you live in DC, Baltimore, Oakland, Atlanta. When something is going down on one side, we're all going to go down. And so the reality is we need to counteract that and think about where can we have opportunity to make investments in people who are typically overlooked and underserved. For women, it's even worse. You know, I have 4 girls and 2 boys. And, you know, we're doing all right. And they're like, well, what's this pay gap thing? Like, I don't understand. Why do people make less? I actually work harder than the boys in my classroom. It's kind of hard to describe, right, in 2019, why women who basically do all the damn work anyway don't get paid for what we do. And that's real. And so the reality is when you encounter that with multiple identities of race and then where you live, we're totally getting screwed out of all the wealth they're actually creating for everybody else. And we now know there is a real cost to being poor.
It's true.
But in an economy and a democracy where we all rise and fall together, it is important that we can democratize not only the economic opportunity, but the investment that we make. So what does this mean for diverse entrepreneurs? So I don't care if you're racist or not, because we all got bias, let's just own it. You know, I don't like Bill sneakers, it's okay. It's all good. But the reality is the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs who cover 11 million. And why is that significant? Because they're creating jobs, not just apps. How many of y'all got kids? How many of y'all want your kids to come back home? They don't got. You can't go work in an app. But the reality is that this is, again, not just a lens question, it's a volume question. 8 million women are creating $3 trillion and 23 million jobs. Imagine if you had invested in me as Uber, I was really worth how much more economic opportunity we could have had. If you put all women together, we represent the 5th largest gross domestic product in the world. Men, have you ever thought about us like that before? You probably say ka-ching, but not for the right reasons. Right? But the reality is what a huge opportunity by not investing in these communities. And as I said, Latino-owned businesses are the fastest growing segment, but the hardest to be able to get money, to get investment, and certainly to get visibility. As I mentioned, I spend my time as a professor, not because I make any money doing it, I think it actually costs me, but because I'm committed to teaching graduate students what does it mean to be a global leader. What does it mean to understand how to live and operate in society and actually create wealth for yourself and for your community? And during some research that I did, I learned a very disturbing fact. As you know, when you research things, you start with one hypothesis and you get totally derailed. So I wanted to do like the really cool academic thing. Let me plot a mock portfolio of returns of African American entrepreneurs, and women to do a comparative analysis with white male Stanford and Harvard graduates to show there could be parity equity. Well, that was bullshit. And you know why? Because nobody would give me the, oh, I'm so sorry, Sheldon. Oh my God. I saw people look at me. I'm sorry. I'm sure you've heard it before. The reality is that nobody understands, right? They're not going to tell that information. One, because they're not getting investment. But two, they're embarrassed to say how little they've invested. So I said, well, tell me what you want to tell me. And you know what they told me? They told me that when they go get a loan, they are rejected 37 times more than their peers. They tell me that some of that is driven by their own psychological psych-out because they don't think they're going to get it. But a white female researcher funded by Kaufman found the greatest reason why our rejection rates of women of color is 3 times higher is straight up racism. The way people look at applications, the way algorithms read zip codes, a huge missed opportunity. And when you talk about equity financing, having been a venture capitalist, I spent more time trying to find people I could invest in and convincing other people to do so, because it wasn't a pipeline problem. It was in a willingness for people to vote for that portfolio company when we sat inside that meeting. So we get a measly $3,400. We're giving out more money than that right now tonight. That doesn't say a lot about the system of venture capital. And when you think about a white man get 57% more. All the statistics, things you've heard, something is clearly broken. The statistic that I found out is that it costs $250,000 more for a woman or an entrepreneur of color to start the same exact business as their white male peer. I don't know about you, but when I started my first financial services company, I barely had $2,500, not to mention $250,000. True story, I asked my cousin for some money. He was like, yo, I'll hit you up, I'll give you $250 if I need it back by next Thursday. I was like, well, that's not really a good deal, it's not going to come back. But we went on anyway, we sold the company, and he was mad, he didn't give me his $250. But the reality is that that dollar amount is both direct and indirect costs. One, we pay more for our money, almost 1.5% more. I can legally be charged more for my loan than you. There's something not right there. And that's not recent, that's historic. We know that where do we get money? We don't have M&T banks all over the place, and Bank of America's aren't exactly rolling out the red carpet, so we do payday lending. I'm spending $520 on interest fees and averaging 8 loans just to keep my doors open. That's absolutely absurd. It's not already enough pressure. You got to stand up here and pitch. Now I got to figure out how I pay 8 people trying to take money out of my pocket. And so the challenge is that there's a direct cost in that we don't have access to capital. It's a direct cost because we get charged more. It's also an indirect cost. How many people heard of Techstars? Anybody? How many people, what else is there? 500 startups. Anybody ever apply to those things? Anybody ever been to those things? See, they're missing out on Buffalo. They're sleeping. But you know why people oftentimes don't get into some of these things? Is because when we met with 500 startup sections, so we want to let people in their teams. When I started my first company, I had $75,000 in student loan. My mother said, "Could you just get a daggone job?" And my friend said, "I need you to pay my rent. So if you're going to do this business, I can't work for you because I can't pay my rent in equity and options." So I'm penalized because I am not surrounded by people who have a level of wealth that can just hang out and take a free internship and help start a company because I have to have a real job. But because I don't have a team, I can't get in. When I don't get in, I lose money. You know what you get when you get Techstars? Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash. $50,000 of free Amazon credits. All things that I now have to pay for. Why? Just by the virtue of the color of my skin? Because my friends don't have a trust fund so they can help me start a company. The other piece is getting to market. One of the reasons why we started Ureeka is that I realized when we talk to 1,000 entrepreneurs, they spend 3 to 5 times more in trying to find a coach or mentor. And not because it was a hard business, because they couldn't find anybody who actually believed in them. We did an undercover study with 150 entrepreneurs with Silicon Valley experts and said, coach this person on the phone for 30 minutes. You know what the recordings came back saying? This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. I don't understand. Let me go call my sister. I don't understand the market. I'm not black. I don't think I get it. I'm bald. I don't get hair care. And they churn through people. Do you know what that does to your self-esteem? Imagine that happened as under. Target would be totally screwed because they'd be missing out. But that's what the entrepreneurs that I work with on a daily basis are experiencing. And then obviously all the startup costs, even if you want to go into tech, opportunities are not equally offered or presented, and that is a real challenge. And you certainly know when people say it on social capital, I know lots of people. Look at my Facebook page. I know lots of people. I got 500 requests on LinkedIn. But are they the right people? My kids barely got 2,000 friends. I'm like, if your car breaks in, they're going to come get you because that ain't a friend. And so we have to be clear that we're not comparing apples and oranges. That we are clear that my prosperity and my opportunity is not dictated by what I look like or where I'm from or who I know. It is driven by my desire to do good, to create a multiplier effect, to help build a resilient community for myself and others around me. And so we have to own it. I don't care what your political affiliation, I don't care what discrimination is real. And at some point in time, everybody in here is felt it. I'm getting old now and putting the whole age thing like, oh, you got some gray hair. You like it? What are you trying to say? Oh, what are you trying to say? Don't be subtle, just be honest. And so the reality is knowing that we are at a negative and we are at a deficit, that's a missed opportunity. Because look at the growth of our businesses. Hispanic women, 46%. Black women, 34%. Asian, 24%. If the average failure rate of a business is 50% over 5 years, I love Vegas, but I don't have to be a mathematician or finance manager. These are much better odds to bet on than the standard stereotype that is not creating jobs and not creating wealth for their community. It's important to understand that there are 2.58 million black businesses right now, over 9% of all the firms. We create $150 billion in revenue and almost 1 million jobs. Think about the contribution that immigrants have made and the value that they have brought to this country and the jobs and the wealth that they've created. And certainly, I love talking about women because we just do everything better. We create 3 times more returns. Look, we use less capital. It's called coupons. Most importantly, we have a lower failure rate. As an academic for International Women's History Month about 5 years ago, I did a study that actually showed the stock market crash wouldn't have happened if women were in charge. Because we have a different risk tolerance, a different risk profile. We manage the future very differently and tend to have a slightly different filter around what is acceptable risk. And obviously women help other people make a lot more money. So it's important to own that structural racism coupled with implicit bias is creating a negative set of pressures on entrepreneurs of color and women that are absolutely unacceptable. The reality is that if we as a country or just a segment of venture capitalists had invested in black businesses at the same rate in parity, we would have 0 unemployment rate in certain communities.
Wow.
Namely the one where I live, the District of Columbia. Imagine that 0 unemployment just because somebody wouldn't write a check. We would have 600,000 additional jobs, 5% reduction in unemployment. And the reality is that all because someone made a set of assumptions that actually were false. They were based on history and not the future. They were based on bias and not in fact. And when we underinvest, we are losing out on huge returns, not just for ourselves, but for everyone else around us. And so the opportunity here for me and what I do is, one, to tell you about this so that you're better informed. If nothing else, there's got to be some interesting cocktail conversations somewhere in the city of Buffalo. Maybe not where I had lunch, but somewhere. The other piece is that if you're already here, clearly you're committed. And what's fascinating to me is that we know the only thing that is constant is change. And so I'm a finance person. I love numbers because they don't lie. American history changes. 2 + 2 is always 4. But this guy, who was pretty amazing, who was quantitative investing, a huge guy at Wall Street, said investing when it's comfortable is rarely profitable. Seems like a dumb moment, but the reality is, how do we make people uncomfortable? And not uncomfortable because we want them to be agitated, but uncomfortable because this is a chance that we're going to do something different. We're going to generate different returns. We will create more jobs like we're creating in Buffalo. To have companies that won Ignite Buffalo years ago increase their revenue by 700% is pretty darn amazing. And that stuff ain't happening in Silicon Valley. So I have 2 requests of you. One is, at least remember one statistic, because it will make for interesting conversation. And for some of you, they'll be like, oh, you know something. I can see you can do that. So you're like, oh, you just should read it. But the second thing is, help us get this done. On November 1st, we will launch Ureeka.biz. It'll be a free platform. I have to get 5,000 people to get on the platform. The mission of Ureeka, as I said before, is to democratize economic opportunity by enabling community and reducing costs and friction to get to market and help businesses grow. You have access to peers, because the best way to learn is to learn from other people. When I went to the Small Business Association to start my business, I literally asked for $20,000. Now, Is that a lot of money? I don't know.
No.
Right, but compared to my student loans, it was like, woo, she ain't never gonna pay us back. And they told me no. And I said, okay, I'm good. You know, so when Kinko's existed, my business plan was hot, literally, because it was right off the press. It had a nice little spiral bind. And I was like, okay, I got this. I'm a finance major. What you need me to do? She's like, you have 3 problems. I was like, I'm ready. She said, problem number 1, you're black. I was like, damn, I can't do anything about that. And then she goes, problem number 2, you're a woman. I was like, I could do something about that, but I'm pretty comfortable. And problem number 3, I don't know any successful black women in finance, so I don't think you're going to be successful. And they didn't give me the loan. By the grace of God, my mama was sitting here and she said, walk away, walk away, walk away. And I did with some huffing and puffing. But to think a federal agency who's charged with empowering its residents basically told me no for all the wrong reasons. But you know what the best revenge was? I saw that woman 6 months later. And she said, I hear you're doing well. I said, I'm doing darn well. Thank you for asking. No thanks to you. And she said, we have a new loan program. I said, okay, tell me about it. And then it was like $30,000. And I was like, I won't say what I really said. I said, lady, thank you so much for that opportunity, but I don't need it. And I sold the company 6 months later. The reality is that is a missed opportunity of not only a narrative, because if I can do it, let me really clear, anybody can do this stuff. But what an opportunity, because your bias allows you to miss clear basis points. So we believe that you can learn from your peers. We believe that you need vetted, trained, culturally competent, mission-aligned coaches and mentors. We also know as a professor, there are ways to run a business. It ain't rocket science, but it's hard. There are 4 things: operations, talent and management and culture, financial readiness, and what's the other one?
Building culture.
Good thing ain't no audience for it, customers. You need customers. You need customers. Culture. Cash. 4 things. That's what it takes to scale a business. It's not hard. But you know what? We have made entrepreneurship so simple that people don't even know how to do basics. You guys are going to be like, yo, you want to get rich? Yeah, how? And they try to tell them, and they don't know. And so it's not hard, but it is strategic. It is not my job to do it for you. It's how to teach you to do it for yourself. And the final thing is, because research showed that people spend an inordinate amount of money trying to find somebody who believes them and trusts them, there's a marketplace that is ready to go. We are eliminating bias from the opportunity to bring entrepreneurship back to be the economic engine for the United States. We are humbled and thrilled that it started here in Buffalo. Remember your one fact: kill them at the next networking section, have a tequila on me, and most importantly, send every entrepreneur you know, no matter race, color, geography, or sector, to Ureeka.biz. We got you. Thank you.